Up, it's Casper. Welcome back to another Sinatra review. Today I'm talking about the movie Willy's Wonderland. Willy's Wonderland is a 2021 movie and it's an hour and 28 minutes. Directed by Kevin Lewis, starred by Nicolas Cage, and this movie is also produced by Nicolas Cage. The movie was okay. The movie was very interesting at times. So the movie is about Nicolas Cage is a janitor. He ends up getting tricked to end up cleaning this restaurant, Chuck E. Cheese looking place called Willy's Wonderland. What ends up happening is Nicolas Cage doesn't have money to pay people who are helping him out move his car from the road, because he ended up getting in a situation where driving down the highway and he runs over like a spike strip. So now his car is on flat and gets approached by somebody who helps him out. The guy who picks him up tells him, hey, do you have cash? Nicolas Cage doesn't have cash. So to pay off the debt is to clean up Willy's Wonderland. So what Nicolas Cage character doesn't know is that he has to survive a whole night being there, and in the morning he will get his car parked in the front. But during this whole night he's dealing with demonic animatronics. I'm kind of like in the middle with Nicolas Cage acting. I don't know if it was super badass, like awesome, or if it was just a little bit cheesy at times, but still made it look dope. Nicolas Cage's performance, it was kind of like a balance. In this movie, he actually says no lines. An interesting choice for people who want to see Nicolas Cage go an in-depth film where he has a lot of lines. This isn't the movie. Pretty much straightforward. He's a janitor. He's just trying to pay off the debt to get his car fixed. The acting-wise with no lines is something new for me, but I really thought it was at times pretty dope. Facial expressions and the way he was just moving around in the Willy's Wonderland was actually hilarious at times. I'm like, dude, this dude is acting like a badass. Doesn't care at all. Facial expressions sometimes is funny because it'll be like a scene where you would think like you'll get scared or you have a sentimental moment, but this dude is just straightforward, just looking in deep thought, but focused in a way. Throughout this whole movie is cleaning Willy's Wonderland. He doesn't find out that this place is haunted or possessed till he actually meets with one of the animatronics while he's cleaning. And I thought the introduction of both meeting each other was a unique one because it was just so nonchalant. His character at times takes breaks, so I think the added character feel of him just staying focused to the job of cleaning, I thought that was interesting. I think his presentation on just cleaning, taking the breaks when he can, and actually out of nowhere killing these animatronics. But with the facial expressions and his badass look from the beginning of the movie, you would kind of expect it. A lot of the actors around this movie weren't the greatest. Lines in here were kind of cheesy for the other actors. There's a scene in this movie where one of the actors is confronted by one of the animatronics. The animatronic starts talking and the dude is like, oh, I'll believe you, since you seem like you're the good animatronic. That whole scene, the way it was presented for me, was kind of corny. And I'll just say because maybe the actor and the lines didn't mash up very well. The way they used the budget in this movie was really on point because they were definitely just focusing on his whole mannerisms and the whole presentation of this whole area. I think it was well done. In general, the plot and flow, pretty well done. You get right into it by seeing a scene of a foreshadowing, like storytelling of what happened in that Willy's Wonderland, and then you go start off with Nicolas Cage. It was funny because Nicolas Cage is just very serious throughout this whole movie. Even though Nicolas Cage was serious throughout this whole movie, the whole movie wasn't like a serious feel. The animatronics at times had funny lines. The more the movie develops, you see why those animatronics have blood coming out of them, and then you see how they move a little bit, because sometimes in the movie it looks like there might be someone playing, or it might look like it's a costume, but the way the movie flowed and the plot in the movie, it makes sense. Glad it wasn't on a serious note. So there was just like cheesy but funny lines and presentations between actors and animatronics. A lot of funny moments by just Nicolas Cage just being himself, a janitor, taking his breaks. Even after a kill, he takes a break. Movie did very well on showing the blood. The blood in this movie was definitely presented, and there's crazy ass death scenes in here where I'm like, whoa, I didn't expect that. The overall presentation of the animatronics was pretty presentable. I think the camera direction and the camera quality was very good. I don't know too much about the Friday Nights at Freddy's whole franchise stuff, so just seeing for what this was, I'll say it was okay presentation. I'm just glad it wasn't something that was tried very, very hard. It wasn't like a try hard movie in my opinion. Character lived. Her lines were cool and her presentation was dope. She was just more of that focused one on trying to get Nicolas Cage out of the Willy's Wonderland just at times. And this movie, I'm like, oh, what are you doing in here? Every other character in here is already expected with the other characters, so that's why I didn't really mind. Just more amusing to hear the lines that they were presenting. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna see like an Oscar nominated performance by the other actors. I kind of had a feel what the other characters were going to be, especially for this type of movie. I'm not mad at the acting. It's just I already knew what it was going to come with it. The budget was definitely focused on still being visually entertaining and not being cheesy. Presentation of Willy's Wonderland at times was creepy. It didn't feel like with anything like the sound or the music was a step backwards. I think all that enhanced it and was a good add-on. The horror level wasn't too scary, but the angles of seeing the animatronics were pretty creepy. Only an hour and 28 minutes, so I think that's perfect because you don't want to see too much detail in here, and I don't think there was any drag in here. Flow was pretty quick. Nicolas Cage is definitely the star of this movie and the standout of this movie. They used the right amount of showing the animatronics and they showed the right amount of Nicolas Cage. At times the movie did go back and forth to the same style, but I thought it was funny because sometimes it would just be a crazy killing scene and then out of nowhere Nicolas Cage is taking his break. Something that we've seen in the movie, but when it happens again it's like, oh, that's funny, he just goes to his break again. Still gotta see Five Nights at Freddy's to see what they talking about. So at the end of it, this movie is fun. It is entertaining. Very cool flow, good quality, good editing, good sound. I didn't mention the lady sheriff. She gets involved in the movie, but you can just see with just her, you can see how small the town is. After my watching Willy's Wonderland out of 10, I'm gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10. That's my review for the movie Willy's Wonderland. Shout out to you guys for tuning in the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, y'all.